Buenas tardes, OBU. This is The Rundown, your favorite sports show on this very campus. My name is Jackson Carter, and here with me, as always, my partner in crime, Brandon Smith.
Today in The Rundown, we'll take you down to Sully Anderson Field to give you a recap on the Lady Tiger softball team. Tell them about the season this year, Jackson.
Well, Brandon, the Lady Tigers are led by head coach Mike McGee and assistant coach Beth McGee. The team is made up of 2 seniors, 5 juniors, 4 sophomores, and 7 freshmen. Senior Megan Askew leads the team in almost every offensive category, including batting average, slugging percentage, on-base percentage, runs scored, runs batted in, home runs, total bases, and walks. She does it all, folks.
The other senior, Bailey Sanders, has started and played in all 49 games this season and is second on the team in at-bats, home runs, and RBIs. Sanders and Askew give strong leadership and heavily contribute to the team's success.
Other key players that the Lady Tigers rely on are juniors Parrish Reed, who maintains a batting average above 300, and standout freshman Kylie Madden, who also has started and played in all 49 games, leading the Lady Tigers in hits.
Abby Frakes is a leader from the rubber. She has pitched in 75% of the team's games and has pitched a complete game 18 times. Frakes is second in the GAC in innings pitched and third in strikeouts.
The Lady Tigers have clinched a spot in the GAC tournament, which will take place in Bentonville beginning on April 25th. Best of luck to the softball team as they fight for a championship.
Now we're going to kick it to Mitchell and Tyler with intramural softball. Take it away, boys.
Fellow Ouachitonians, welcome back to the intramural segment of The Rundown. I'm Mitchell Kelly. Alongside me here is Mr. Tyler Davis. And today we're going to be taking you around the bases and giving you the lowdown on intramural softball.
That's right, Mitch. Major League Baseball is off and running, and so is rec softball here at OBU. Softball, like basketball, has one of the largest participation numbers of all the intramural sports. But if you're looking for 90-mile-per-hour fastballs and sharply executed triple plays, you're probably in the wrong place. Mitchell, give the people an overview of intramural softball.
I'd be happy to. Rec sports includes 4 leagues, a men's upper and lower league, as well as a co-ed upper and lower league. The 2 upper leagues have only about 5 teams apiece, and they really aren't for the faint of heart. It's a little too early to tell, but it does appear that betas are controlling both the men's and co-ed upper league.
Now, let's not get ahead of ourselves, Mitch. We know that the season isn't over until Jason Bean says it is, or until the semester ends. The lower leagues are loaded with about 15 teams apiece. These 2 leagues offer a less competitive atmosphere, if you will, but I will say that lower league softball can be hilarious to watch. Now, you may be wondering how this wonderful game is played. What exactly are the rules, Mitch?
Well, Tyler, I mean, it's fairly simple. They go by pretty much the standard softball regulation, with a few exceptions. The overall goal is to make the gameplay as fun and efficient as possible. All the games are played down at the intramural fields and will take place weekdays during the afternoon, weather permitting, of course.
Speaking of weather, there have been quite a few rainouts to this point, but the rec sports staff is doing everything they can to make sure those games get rescheduled so everyone can get plenty of playing time. For updates on weather and other important information associated with rec sports, make sure to check your school email or log on to imleagues.com.
Well, that's really all we have for this week. Be sure to keep up with our show and tweet us your thoughts at The Rundown OBU. For Tyler Davis, I'm Mitchell Kelly, and we're going to pitch it out to the Roundtable for their weekly segment.
Welcome to the Roundtable, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Andrew McCraw, joined here by Brandon Smith. As you can see, we're kind of alone here. Katie Vaughn's in the ER, and Hunter, well, we don't know where Hunter is. He must have gone to help her out, so that's good. Katie, we hope you feel better. Everyone's favorite time of year is right here. It's the NBA playoffs. They start really soon. And so we're just going to go back and forth a little bit and talk about that. So let's start in the West, Brandon. Who do you have in the West?
Well, the West is a tough division. You got teams like OKC, obviously the 1 seed, and Spurs, the 2 seed. Teams like the Clippers also. It's just a stacked conference. I obviously have OKC going to all the way to the championship to face, the Heat probably. But in the West, I don't see Oklahoma City having any trouble beating these teams. I think they have a better offense than anybody, especially with Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook, and then Ibaka on defense blocking shots. The Spurs will be their biggest trouble, I think, but I think they'll be able to outplay them and out-rebound them all the way to beating them to go to the championship game.
Okay, and see, I don't think it's going to be as easy as you say. I think the loss of James Harden is really going to affect them. And they play James Harden in that first round, and he's going to come out fighting strong against them. So really, I don't think their offense is going to be as powerful as it was last year. The Spurs really are going to be the test, and I think the Spurs are the better team. They're amazing at home. They only lost about 5 games at home, if I'm correct there, and I think they're going to be the team to beat. So I don't know what you're saying to that, but.
Yeah, I mean, the Spurs would be pretty good. I agree with you there. But I just think, they have a few young guys that they have, but they're still in the era of Tim Duncan and Manu and Tony Parker, and they just picked up Tracy McGrady, who I don't know what he's going to do except for just come in for 5 minutes, hit one shot, and sit on the bench for 20 minutes with an oxygen tank next to him. I don't see how they're actually going to last. They're going to play some fast teams. They've got the Lakers in the first round, which I don't think the Lakers are going to beat them at all, but they'll definitely give them a challenge. And you got another team like Denver, who's going to play them next round if the Lakers win. Denver's a running gun team. They're going to run the floor. And at home, Denver's not going to lose either. Like you said, San Antonio's good at home. Denver's just as good at home. No one can breathe in Colorado air except for Denver Nuggets. They know how to run the floor and just keep the teams from catching up to them.
That is very true. Thunder are 38-3 at home. That's amazing, like just unbeatable. There was teams that they were dead in the water in the fourth quarter. They just came back just for will, and that arena is amazing for the fans there. But still, back to Tracy McGrady. Okay, I have to let it. He was good. He was in China. That's why he wasn't signed until right now. He got out of his contract, but I think he'll bring enough. The problem here for Tracy McGrady is he's kind of cursed. He has the first round curse. He's never ever gotten out of that first round. So it would be kind of funny though if the Spurs didn't get out of the first round after being favorites, just because of Tracy McGrady. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the East.
Okay.
Lots of good teams here. It's not as wide open as the West, I'd say, with all these great teams, but obviously you have the Miami Heat, you have the Brooklyn Nets, and you have the New York Knicks there. Those are the top three, I would say, right there.
Definitely.
You have the Bulls, but without Derrick Rose, they're really kind of a wild card, and I don't think he's going to be coming back at all. So let's just talk about the Heat. What do you think about them?
I think the Heat are favorites to win. Obviously, I think everyone's picking them. They're going to go all the way. I think the other teams are just playing for second place in the East right now. The Heat are just going to roll through Milwaukee. I don't even know how they made it to the playoffs. Every other team just must be terrible.
This is the weak East right there. Right. It just really shows. I mean, Boston is the 7th seed. They're 41-40. I mean, you had teams fighting in the West that barely got over that, and they were I think the Jazz were just a few games over 500. They couldn't even make it out of the West. So it really shows how weak the East really is.
And then Miami, after they win that round, they'll play the winner of Brooklyn and Chicago. Like you said, they don't have Derrick Rose. Everyone's saying he's coming back. He's not going to come back. They've got Brooklyn. Brooklyn's going to handle them pretty easily, I think, probably 5-6 games at the most. Miami's going to handle Brooklyn. I think after that, either a sweep or 5 games. I think Miami's defense is just too hard, and their offense is just as good as their defense. There's no shot for Brooklyn there. And then Miami will keep going on to either play maybe the Pacers or the Knicks. I think that's a fun matchup to watch if the Pacers and Knicks both move on, because you have the Pacers, that hard defense they have with guys like Danny Granger and Paul George and stuff. But then you also have the offense of the Knicks with leading scorer in the NBA, scoring title winner Carmelo Anthony with 28 points a game. I think that'll be the funnest game of the tournament to watch. But I think the Knicks will win that one, and then Miami will just handle the Knicks.
Absolutely. And honestly, for me, the Heat are going to have a really easy road until the finals, the Eastern Conference Finals, that is. I think the Knicks will meet them there, and then it's really wide open to me. You have other veteran leaders on the Knicks as well. You've already talked about Carmelo. He's going to be there. If he can stay hot as he has this entire last month, he's just been on a tear. He had 40 points in 4 games in a row. Just an awesome player. Just won the scoring title. Poor Kevin Durant on the last game of the season. He had to score 70 points to take that title back for the 4th time. They just sat him out because it wasn't worth it. But honestly, I think the Knicks will be there. And you have veteran leaders who just won titles. You have Jason Kidd, Tyson Chandler right there down low. And both of them have beaten the Heat in the playoffs in those intense moments right there. So they know the ingredients to do it. However, I think the Heat are just simply dominant. This team would have wiped the Heat's finals team last year out of the water. I think the addition of the Birdman Chris Anderson, just awesome. I mean, he doesn't attribute a lot in points, but what he does is just momentum, shot blocking, and those weird tattoos. If you've seen him, he's a disgusting individual.
Brings the fans though. Brings the fans.
He does. He's a very odd person. I don't know. I couldn't get that hairdo going either.
All right, that's going to be all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining us. It's going to be a great NBA playoffs. We're going to kick it back out to close out the show.
That's it for this week's Rundown. Get on Twitter and tweet at us with this hashtag and @ below. For Brandon Smith, I'm Jackson Carter.
That's all, folks.
That's it for this week's Rundown. Get on Twitter and tweet at us with this hashtag right below here. For Brandon Smith, I'm Jackson Carter. That's all, folks. That's what you say.
What is wrong?
You should have just stopped. That was perfect.